So I wrote a book, 51 Poems for Humankind to Think About. It's got my name at the bottom, Dalton Johnson. I'm honestly super proud. I dedicated this book to anyone and everyone doubting their ability, because you got this. And the reason that comes about is from the introduction. So I'll dive into the introduction. 14 years ago, I was afraid to do anything with my poetry. So they sat on my computer's hard drive. 3 laptops later, the poem still resided in the top right corner within a document with the name Starting Point. All of my poetry that I have written is here, hundreds of poems, finished or unfinished. That didn't matter. What mattered was the accumulation of poems and the fear of releasing them. I don't have an MFA. I actually have a bachelor's degree in mathematics. I've received more rejection letters from publishers and editors than I'd like to admit, and that's okay. I used to wear those as a badge of honor, but that was my ego. The contents in this first book, they are my art. They are simply art. And I'm honored that you are going to read my poetry, or listen to it in this case. Not every poem will interest you, but if there are a handful that do, I'd consider that a success. 14 years of hiding and writing in secret, well, that ends today with my first book of poetry. 51 Poems for Humankind to Think About. My new addiction. Bar-lined windows do not trap me, nor do cinder-block walls, but a screen imprisons my mind, clogging thoughts. Trapping creativity and self-expression, gigabyte after gigabyte, we are told, directed, entertained by the new age. Cluttered and overstimulated, my mind, addicted to the screen, has lost the battle. It's the youth's fault, too. Elders are the givers, providers, and guides to eternal knowledge. Speakers of mythology, singers of hardship, mentors of practice. Lives and lessons learned from the past, given to the future, so mistakes only need to be made once. But thankless youth underappreciate the privileged lifestyles graciously gifted, taking for granted the ease of modern life and disregarding the cautionary tales from elders, ignoring the messages interwoven into the mythology, song, and practice for that is in the past. Unable to look beyond their ego and acknowledge yesterday's difficulties could be tomorrow's realities. The youth remain in a state of perpetual ease, halting connection, progression, betterment, understanding. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. For an object at rest will remain at rest, and an object in motion will remain in motion. For the change you wish to see is unattainable if you yourself are not the change you wish to be in this world. Lying to myself. Words are written, words are said. Words spark connection and disconnection between two people. Exchanging words with others is important, but it is more important to exchange truthful words with yourself. The harsh reality is always present, but you have to choose to have the conversation which needs to be had. Say, "That hurt. I love you. Stop what you are doing. You are a liar, a drug addict, a fool, a dolt." You need to be truthful with yourself so you can be truthful to others, for they deserve it. Forgetfulness. Mindless destruction, wasteful wanderers, mankind, humans, all lost, misunderstanding Mother Nature, living in waste and under destruction, diminishing nature till the death of Mother. Humans have forgotten what being mammals means, how mammals live, who we are. Let the machines roar. Towering trees cover an unproductive hillside. It should be a road, one said. No, it should be a clear cut for the timber, the other responded. Maybe it should be both, dotted with houses. They both agreed, so start up that chainsaw and let the teeth shred deep into the heartwood, chunking out the wedge so that 150-year-old tree can ring, whistle to the forest floor, breaking branches as it smashes through the canopy, flattening the vegetation it once shaded. Falling, snap, leaving behind a nub of existence interwoven throughout the soil. But do not worry, thanks to those chainsaws, that tree will become a house ready to burn in the next drought, paper for a child to scribble upon, firewood, a table to share family meals, and maybe a chair for that arborist to rest in after a long day of clear-cutting ancient siblings. Only the city lights left on. Half past the first tick of the little hand, dark skies, yet the moving ground illuminated from the lamp-lined streets burning throughout the night, incapable of grasping the essence of the moment, stumbling upon another's church with a bench along its side, and my favorite hugging tree. Ah yes, my hugging tree, so tall and wispy, you sway in the wind, yet too firm and uncomfortable to hold for long. I smell you. Comfort. It is true, I could not sleep, for my body aches of fatigue from hard days of work, and my mind cluttered with questions from an unpredictable future. Yet, my foolish thumbs let the woman I have tried so hard to forget know she goes unforgotten. Read, 12:32 a.m. The message says, yet no response. So my feet wander away from my hugging tree and flap down the path to another distraction. Instead of doing the hard work to improve myself by putting down the bottle, using the blank pages of my journal to reconnect with my soul, maybe seeing a therapist once a week, working out and sleeping alone, spending time with friends, showing up on time to work, and cut the preaching. I don't believe in God. I'll just scroll social media instead. Cycles of life. People and wealth come and go, just as the tide ebbs and flows. Crashing into your arms, new people conjure a smile upon your face, but before you can relish in the moment, they disappear. Your saving account fills, and you're on top of the world. Then catastrophe hits, the bills stack up, and you go broke. Your smile is gone, your coffers are dry. You think you're alone and there is no hope, until you relearn to love life and yourself. Then that grin will return, new relationships form, and your savings account once more will fill. Rinse and repeat, ebb and flow, love and indifference, again and again, again and again, again and again, until you rest 6 feet underground. Undeniably inevitable, undeniably abused, yet a blind eye is turned when trampled upon foot after foot, held down by consistent systemic oppression. Struggle to stand up for themselves under the mental and physical tax unjustly written into perpetuity, obviously misunderstood by uncountable counts of lives. There seems to be no way out from under the oppressor's foot. If only. No, don't think that way. Let go of hope, let go of future, let go of dreams, and accept your inevitable. You're unable to just say no in an act of self-preservation leading to a lifetime of abuse. Mother, like a wool blanket draped over the shivering child in the night air. The crisp, gentle breeze wraps around the solitary pines atop the sheer cliffs, eroded away from the abusive waves which continuously pummel into the expansive walls. The mother-like breeze seeks to comfort its shivering child. Blank sheet of paper. White emptiness resting upon my lap, calling my name to be the defiler, with the graphite resting within my mechanical pencil. Sometimes, blank pages are easy to come by and easy to destroy, as I have done here in less than 5 minutes. But, more often than not, a blank slate is rare, unusual, expensive, costing lives, populations, or even generations, when defied. Last bullet in the chamber. Life seems like the last bullet in a black pistol, waiting day in and day out in a suffocating clip, which only promotes upward momentum, forced growth, which pushes and shoves you through to oblivion, awaiting for a time to spark. Meanwhile, all of your grandparents, bang. Parents, bang. Brothers, bang. Sisters, bang. Friends, bang. Have discovered their purpose, leaving you lonelier and lonelier after every bang. Mankind, destroying what was once a part of itself by slaughtering ancestral rituals, benighting younger generations to come, implementing unnecessary accommodations, only to encourage loneliness, misconstrued as independence and laziness, interpreted as efficiency, natural selection, no longer able to weed out the mentally and physically inept, identities lost, progression halted, extinction inevitable. Crop dusting a sea of suits. I mouth toward you around our boss. I need to fart. Chinese for lunch, and now I squeeze my cheeks with all their might. You look, I plead. The words again, this time my eyes filled with tears. Oh, please, I need to fart. The sweat, it beads down my face. Our boss looks at me as I soon meet my fate. Fearing the trumpet's loud exploding sound may blow free between thy cheeks, I bait my boss to leave the room and let my fart go free. You look and laugh as I navigate the conference room. Oh, please go quietly, I say to myself as I part the sea of suits. No way! Hitting the door, I stop to look at them and you as I, the victor, left the room in stew. Spin, world. Don't stop. Just keep spinning. Spinning in circles daily, spinning around the sun yearly, makes me a little dizzy. Like a drunk stumbling around, barely able to hold back the puke which this vortex wishes to toss. The spins thrust thoughts from one side of my hollow head into the other. I don't know if my head can think. The phalli and clits together rule this land of the free. But the free from what? Love? Emotion? Self-expression? It's time for sexy abs because swimsuit season is around the corner. What happened to the snow bunny or the sunny Florida coastline? Why couldn't we be proud year-round? 365.25 days of spinning in circles around the sun gets me a little dizzy. I don't know if my head can think. She beat the men with feet. When pen and sheet collide in love so smooth, the tip so wet and ink so bold, so blue, the art must glide from mind to hand to wood. As thought will smudge the skies of blue, I fall with you. To beach and sea, we walk the line that sketch the mind more blue. For pen and hand can free the soul. Let man be man, for man will hold so true his love of love so blue. The pen, the pen, the pen, they shout, oh blue, with joy and wrath, and love and fear. For she, so bright, she dared to bring the point of lead to sheet, to write the words of men in sin. Containment. You'll find the self, laughing, fighting, hurting, loving, at the same time when the ego is dead. But when the ego thrives, the self can't jump with excitement nor cry when filled with sorrow, for the ego confines the self, preventing self-expression, trapping the inner child, containing any chance of embarrassment. Yet, the self yells and thrashes, clawing at the societal jail walls, barehanded, continuing past the point of fingernail-less bloody hands, waiting for the ego to make a mistake and leave the keys to the jail cell within reach of the little kid ready to play, ready to take chances, fuel the fire, push to new heights, and to love all without bounds. The trapped kid sees the moment, grabs the keys, and locks away the ego, chancing self-destruction and self-expression. The time teller, wandering through every connection, searching for every outlook, pondering meaningless thoughts of limitless self-reflection, the ego, the self, the righteous, the injustice, the rich, and the poor, the haves and the have-nots, belonging only to themselves. Lifelong questions must wait for time to answer. The weight of things. Unread books, 12 different ways to make coffee, travel trinkets, all things. Things that fill the shelves but never get used because there is not enough time to play with all of them. Of course, I was well-intentioned, but I only have so many days, so many hours, so many opportunities to sit back and read a book, write a poem, go skiing with friends, or fishing with my dad. Because I have accumulated so many things, I need a bigger home, which means I need more money, which means I need to work more, which means I have even less time. All because I decided things were more important than experiencing life. Now that is a heavy burden. So it must be time for a spring cleaning. The living past never predicts the same lies twice. Exposed, white fields lined with blacks, dragging plump bags down the aisles of hand-cutting cotton, plucking seed after seed, the white supreme, frightened of change, cracks the whip. Nothing new. Nothing new. Nothing is new as the White House atop the hill claims 4 breasts can't share one bed because a book about a non-white man with exaggerated stories told through tales of telephones says man and man can't elope, yet slavery is a great hope. Separation of church and state, the 99 lies, only 1% agree. Let us not falter our freedom, nor accept our oppression. These lies predict our future, so let them not have the power to make them twice. Break your gaze and step forward, unable to redirect my gaze. From the violent hatred, I watch from afar. While my brow firms and jaw clenches, I'm losing control. Standing there among the field of red roses, touched with powdery white snow, it happens in front of me time and time again. My heart feels heavy, unable to breathe. My blood turns red to black as the freshly picked rose impales the clenching fist of oppression, trying to fight back with every thorn of defiance, but it's of no use, for the green stem drips with blood from the oppressive palm, suffocating the metaphorical bush of life with blood that dries black as the moonless night, void of green, void of red, void of white. There is only room for darkness, blocking the green stem of life, the red petals of love, the white, powdery snow of innocence. With each injustice, my heart continues turning black unless I control my feet, take a breath, break my gaze, and start taking steps forward. Let mine feet guide me. To clear my head, I took a stroll to anywhere my feet wanted to go. They stayed close and went far, far, far away, attempting only to center myself. Cluttered, minded, and unable to sleep, I let my feet guide where they will. They play safe and stay close to home until the mental fog remains. Then they take me far, far away, so I do not know. Only then do I find my center. Mourning Nights. As the hearts of several ache for one malfunctioned machine, tears of sorrow and laughs of momentary enjoyment overwhelm the majority. Even though beaches stretch as far as the eye can see and the wildlife frolics into the crashing waves, it all goes unnoticed tonight, because the majestic natural beauty which Mother Earth continually provides for its residents cannot overcome the long mourning nights. So much to say to those who find themselves loved or loveless. So much to do for those who have a roof overhead or those whose roof is the night sky. So much to learn from those who have lived so many years, or to those who have just begun living. So much to see in this gorgeous world. Shamefully, I focus on the reflection in the mirror more than the surrounding beauty, the young and the old teachers, the homeless and privileged, the lovers and loving. There is just so much narcissism to remove. The proper man. Fear of self hides and camouflage to project the proper man. The fighter, the unconditional lover, the badass, the homosexual, the social butterfly, the slut, the poet. All disguise the face of a proper man, even if proper is synonymous with fake, untrue, unoriginal. For a proper man can hide behind his luxury of cash, yet the self could relish an unfathomable wealth. Vacant carcass. Deep down there should be something, but it's empty. This cavity called a body, depleted of life, no soul nor heart, to awaken the body from the void, lacking purpose to crawl out of bed in the morning. But the alarm goes off. Shower, shave, go to work. Don't make enough money, come home to an empty house. No family, no dog, no nothing. A glorified storage unit for dust to collect on things you don't need. No friends, no community. Only a bed with dirty sheets and a pile of clothes in the corner. Void, empty, nothingness, null, lifeless. Who took the soul away? What does fulfillment feel like? Where is it hiding? When was the last time a feeling happened? How did this vacant carcass get here? The likely culprit? Myself. I did this to me, to become someone, instead of accepting me for me. I let go of my greatness because I was scared. People would recognize I'm weird, strange, different. I shoved myself so deep, I have forgotten what feeling feels like, just so I could be seen by others as normal, successful, wealthy. Little did I know by destroying myself bit by bit, I would lose my greatness and become empty. Self-inhibiting, confined to the links of chain which drape over the burdened shoulders of the people who wish to escape its weight. Children, women, men, all alike, weighed down by these figurative chains, only wish for freedom. Freedom from themselves, only to follow their passion, resting in their heart. Roller coaster rides, part 1. Emotional roller coaster, up, down, climbing, falling, loops, upside down. Life is such, except you don't pay $10 to get on and walk away after 90 seconds of exhilaration. For each movement on this figurative roller coaster takes days, weeks, months, even years. Part 2. Peering upon the twists and turns, pondering to myself thoughts of eagerness and fear, I prepare myself for what's to come in my near future, for I can see that. However, in this unpredictable life, there are no promises or preparations taken to overcome the twists and turns, only to coast downhill. Part 3. Life is uncertain, uncontrollable, unfathomable to all alive. Only the lifeless know what is to come. Nothing. For the dead will remain in the ground, never to wander the streets again, and those never given life will remain lifeless. So, remain alive and continue riding as many ups, downs, climbs, and falls as possible. Connectionless. What anchors my feet to the ground which I walk, so I don't float away? How are my feet planted so firmly upon this earth when I just feel like floating away? All I want to do is float. Float away from this earth, away from the emptiness which my heartless carcass feels. For what do I connect with? Nothing. Connects this world to me. I have successfully floated away from this land which I once walked upon. All things which, red lights, money, responsibility, laws, transportation, overbearing guardians, all things which restrict the free-thinking minds who wish to express themselves. Traffic-filled backroads, exuberant costs, family, bills, the sense of security, all things which clutter a free-thinking mind, inhibiting self-expression. Ocean, trees, fresh air, fish, primates, birds, plentiful beaches filled with sand, all things which evoke free-thinking minds to create self-expression. I need that. Phone, TV, computer, I need these. No, no you don't. All you need is a kick out the door. You need to get out, take a breath, take a walk, talk with stranger, study, observe nature, work hard. America, we need to stop consuming. We need to stop. We are confused. What we need is what we want. What we want is what others have. What is wrong with what you already possess? Nothing. The lack of greatness. The mind continually conjures thought after thought, memory after memory, idea after idea, relishing within the mind, dreaming, hoping, expressing life without censorship, within a politically correct life. Impossible, because the individual is sacrificed for the greater good, diluting and polluting greatness for the incapable, forced to pick up after those physically and mentally weaker. Political correctness promotes leeches, feeding off the strong, never forcing the weak to become great themselves. Now, whose fault is this? Sure, we should all build each other up by dedicating oneself to their calling, for that is how you become strong. But how does society accept leaving political correctness in the rearview mirror so individuals can find greatness in themselves own their mistakes and future by reducing the lack of greatness one individual at a time. Try not to conform. Our actions don't define us. They justify our claims like a quote within a paper. Our actions prove or disprove our words. But unfortunately, our words are taken like a grain of sand in the Sahara Desert. Ironically, words are useless within our society of reputations, for a reputation constructed from words and actions define our worth in a worthless society of judgmental people. Judgments are everything, although the people who judge you are no different from yourself. Their unworthy words attempt to tear into your soul and dishearten who you are, only to conform you into them. All I ask in return, like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, I feel off. Something isn't right. My heart aches and my soul is deprived. People keep looking at me with their heads crooked, as if I am leaning and about to fall. At times, I'm a king of the world. Yet, when I ask myself, how are you? A negative response arrives. But why? People like me. People say I'm attractive. I have friends, but I don't have a lover. Not a sexual lover, but one who loves me. For they love to talk with me, to discuss life, to hear my issues and my complaints. I want somebody who's willing to bear the weight of my head upon their shoulders, for I am unhappy. I realize I'm searching for this person in the wrong place. I've tried parties, but that isn't me. That is me fitting in. That isn't me being me. That is me being socially accepted by those around me who don't even know my name. Why do I care about them? What attaches me, my soul, and my desires to them? Who are these people? I feel as if my heart has been ripped out, yet nothing specific did this. My soul desires to listen to you, your complaints, your achievements. All I ask in return is for you to do the same for me. Unlearning to instruct myself. All my life, I have been pulled this way and that. Now my arms are stretched and ache. It is time to heal my arms back to their normal length and do as I please. This way, I take pride, responsibility, ownership in the mistakes I make, because it was only me who made the mistake. Nobody else has ownership. It was my decision, and if I fail, I pick myself up and fix what went wrong. It is time to live my own life, make my own decisions, to fail alone. It is time to instruct myself. Lost. I sit around all day watching people pass me by. They are all busy, forcing me to sit alone, unnoticed. Work consumes those who pass me, while I consume myself with thoughts of disgust and heartache. I sit on the cold, hard earth while my emotions keep me warm. Disgust fills my body as I watch these heartless zombies trudge the crowded streets, only capable of seeing where the GPS leads and interact with those who carry the latest iPhone. The men and women who pass me by disgust me. I am disgusted they don't take the time to look at the beauty which surrounds them. I agree, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, but when your 3-inch screen displays the world around you, I don't understand why you can't simply look up. Also, I'm offended by the ones who purposely look away as they pass, only because I am not a clone like them. I have a mind which thinks independently. Although my emotions keep me warm, without a companion I grow cold. My heart slows beat by beat as it freezes. Without a companion, my words go unheard and my ears grow quiet.
My shoulders were created to bear the weight of another. If only they dare to stop walking, sit down, and start talking. My heart is open to all, but few are willing to stop moving with the crowd, for they fear they will be left behind. My heart aches for those who fear to slow down and look around, for they live a life without color, without appreciation, without love. While several will disagree, yet day in and day out, as my ears grow quiet, I observe tired eyes, frowns, and saddened expressions. Yet, the most disheartening part of my life is when most decide to join me on the ground. For I am here by choice. I can get up and go with the flow till I tire, then I'll sit back down. But for most who seek my shoulders, it is too late. They have already lost everything by the time they decide to sit with me. I am everyone's last resort, although I am always willing to boost those who are in need and those who are already at the top. It just behooves me that those at the top never sit down until everything is lost. Once everything is lost, their tears of sorrow will drip one by one on my shoulder until they realize what they have been missing. Then and only then will they let the floodgates open, until a puddle forms beneath us. With the formation of that puddle, we sit in mud. With mud, I will teach those to build bricks. These bricks alone are not strong, but make enough bricks and you can build a foundation which allows you to stand again and walk with the crowd. Once you regain your footsteps, you will wander away without glancing back, as if you have forgotten instantly who I am. My life may seem sad, but you know where I sit. Here is my domain, where I will reside day in and day out until another comes crashing upon my shoulders. And I will aid them to stand and walk again, just as I did you. My only wish is that you would stop walking, sit down, and start talking before everything is lost again. Sermons of Peace. Part 1. Off the cliff it falls, tumbling down the mountainside, on course to the ocean residing below. Plunging in to take a swim, it sinks to the bottom like a rock. No struggles, no resistance. It sinks to the depths. For the ocean's density does not support, and its buoyancy is not enough to float on. Part 2. Made from Mother Earth, its lost old soul belongs to this world, destined to search the lands and speak out against inequality in the name of love. The soul has hardened over the years, but it's ready to take the plunge into the unsupportive waters without resistance. The soul is ready to tread among the water, struggling through thick and thin. The soul is ready to preach peace at sermons of unconditional love. For a destiny is a destiny. One cannot deny their calling. Emptiness. My body wanders the streets and converses with others, but only my body. I'm an empty sack of skin and bones wandering the streets like a zombie, moving without a... Emptiness. My body wanders streets and converses with others, but only my body. I'm an empty sack of skin and bones wandering the streets like a zombie, moving without a purpose throughout society. There is nothing to me besides a body sack. I have no soul, no beating heart. I am connected to nothing. I go through the motions, proceeding day in and day out without a purpose, only to live an empty, pointless life. When all you crave is success, it burns deep, deep inside my gut. There is a desire to succeed, but succeed in what? I desire to succeed at what I love.
And what is it which I love? I love the taste of success. I love to sweat. I love the tears I shed in pain. I love the sensation my body feels after I succeed. I love the fire in my gut. This fire is never ending, only revitalizing. So then, am I ever in love? Or am I always succeeding? Or am I never succeeding? Diverse similarities. He is black. I'm white. We are sitting across from each other, observing one another, but we are both on the train. Nothing is different between us except where we hail. He is a father. I am a son. He teaches his daughter the same teachings my father taught me. So why do people say that we are different? The teachings of both fathers are the same, and my dad just made more money. Does money really make a difference? Does money affect one's success? My father's hard work has privileged me. Does this mean his daughter won't be more successful than me? Lionhearted Souls. Organically creating timeless traditions by the heart of a righteous soul. Fighting war with peace, saving millions by outspeaking the spoken absurdities, challenging the unchallenged normalities. Fearless women and men hand-selected by their followers. These lion-hearted souls, cursed to travel the arduous mountain paths, forsaking society and spreading their words of change, creating cyclical new traditions. After all have gone to bed, Part 1. Where does your mind wander after all have gone to bed? Are you counting sheep along with those asleep? Or are you thinking about love, pursuit of happiness, prosperity? Do you sit in a chair to reflect the day's deeds, asking yourself if you were good or bad? Or do you drown your sorrows away with the last fluid ounces residing in your whiskey jar? Part 2. For my young mind, still driven by my heart's desires, ponders preposterous questions, unanswerable to all except time. Only time knows what will happen, who I will love, who I will marry, what I will do, what I will make. Time understands that the present is the main character, who will receive the credit for time's work. For time is the one calling the shots, figuring out the angles and settings. Time just hopes present will do a good job concealing the plot, because what movie is worth watching if both the journey and conclusion are revealed? None. However, my young, foolish mind still ponders these preposterous thoughts because I am still learning how to live in the present, how not to worry about uncontrollable matters, how to live without fear of myself, how to live without fear of failure, how to live dedicating my body, mind, and soul to the life I want to live. Part 3. Now, what about you? Where does your mind wander after all have gone to bed? Does your mind follow your heart? Ask itself preposterous questions as I do myself? Or do you count sheep in your dreams along with those resting atop their beds and below their covers? Or are you unable to sleep because you lay on a cold ground every night under the night sky, dying a slow death of hunger and hypothermia? It's a force to read book after book, page after page, paragraph after paragraph, line after line, word after word. It's a force to ask for composition, regurgitation, explanation. Teachers, you ask this of us, yet you know we don't care. You know we are forced here to learn what we do not care. It's a force. It's a force to express ourselves, our hearts, our soul.
It's a force to demonstrate how much we care, how much you mean, how important you are. Useless knowledge. As I sit, I see rows. Rows of knowledge line the room. In these rows, you can learn anything your heart desires. Endless possibilities line this room. All you have to do is sit and learn. As I sit from my comfy chair, I indulge in the endless rows. You could say I want to learn, but truly, I want to burn. Personally, I don't want to burn, but I want to burn the endless rows that teach me nothing. Crowded places. Together among a crowd, seemingly meaningless, all people chat, exchange stories, become friends, and fall in love. Sometimes. Finding my home. You have always told me that I will never find a place as beautiful as this, your home. Here all the seasons come and go, the ponds freeze, then melt, which feed the roaring rivers. Flowers bloom and bask in sunlight, while the birds flutter through the clean air. Yet I have never found your home to be beautiful. Yes, there is natural beauty, which surrounds you wherever you wander, but this beauty does not suit me. I have disliked living here and growing up here. The people are unmotivated, unhappy, and full of complaints. Life here is non-existent. The ones who live here merely survive. Nothing is living. There are those, the ones who have lived and those who want to live, but there is no life here in your home. This is why I need to go like the fluttering birds and search for my home, a home which I can find beautiful, where I can settle and tell my kids what you have always told me about your home. Only it will be mine. What I lie about. I lie to myself. What I lie about. I lie to myself that I'm okay, I'm happy, I'm content, I'm impressed. For I live in a haze of lies, which clutter my mind so that I'm able to trudge the streets. Don't get me wrong, I'm truthful with others, but I might not be completely. For I have lied to myself for years just to protect me from the things which I have not wanted to think about. Things like sex, booze, friends, family, my future, my present, my life choices. For I have chosen a life which is hard to live, filled with hardship, loneliness, prosperity, and a lack of self-reflection. Rocking vessel. Rocking atop the deep blue it floats, waves crash into its sides, rocking everything, from side to side. However, it could be empty. If the vessel is empty, it will float on practically forever. However, if loaded, it may sink to the deepest, darkest depths, where nothing is recoverable, where nothing can live. The catch? If it remains empty, the vessel will be worthless, transporting nothing, wandering the ocean till the waves deteriorate its wooded sides and consume the vessel to the darkest depths. So, why not take the risk? The results are the same. One path just takes longer. So load your vessel and set sail. Bottled up. My emotions dwell inside, like a glass bottled with the cap too tight, resting atop a hot plate. The plate turns on and I get heated. With the cap so tight, there is no way for the building gas to escape. The pressure builds and builds and builds. Eventually, the only solution is for the bottle to burst. From inside of me, there can only be one result, that of death from the shrapnel shards of broken glass, unless somehow I can pop the top and release these emotions free. Death by societal norms. Weighed down by societal norms, struggling to stay afloat, mouth, nearly breaching the water's surface, a gasp for air, afraid it will be the last. Thoughts, dreams, memories, hopes, all clear the mind. as the water's surface floats too far above the head. A flash of what life could have been, if only societal norms weren't pulling me down. Opinion. What is that which I hear? A voice cries out to my brothers, to the world. It screams, it shouts. It has an idea, a voice, a thought, which has developed over time. Development which manifested inside too long. But where does this voice come from? Is it billowing out from me? It seems to have been noticed and heard, but what am I saying? My voice becomes clear. Oh no, that's not good. It's my opinion slipping through my teeth for the world to hear.
Well, everyone, I have to say thanks for showing up and listening. Also, yeah, I mean, if you made it through all of these on the internet, thank you. If you're just kind of cherry picking or doing whatever, just thanks for being here as well. I mean, if you like these, consider getting a copy. Honestly, it's great to read on the toilet or put it on a coffee table and pick it up and read it for a couple seconds and you can put it back down. Yeah, this is the first book. My goal is to have many, many more. And I'm hopeful. So thank you so much for reading it. And to everyone that's already bought a copy, thank you so much. I hope you have a good day.